306 378 Okay, 35. Okay, so when we go to Fa-tzang 法师台南 we go to this one, okay, and then today we are doing this one. I'm still using the old title. So we have to open 4 documents. The first document is the final version of the thesis in Chinese. Okay. The next document is our translation. The next document we open is Professor Young's final translation. This is getting really scary now. The closer to the end, it's like unbelievable. It's like a totally, the English and the Chinese are 2 totally different documents. Okay, and then the next one, the last one is the Vinaya glossary. Okay, so let's open up this one. Okay, we are on page 30, say about 36. But let me go to page 30 and just read it quickly and see how the language sounds. Because we keep translating bits and pieces, you know. Every now and then you have to read the entire thing to make sure it flows. That's why by doing translation, you really learn. You really, really learn. Because there's so much repetition. Okay, so this is the situation. This basically is telling you what's going on. Because at that time the Venerable Ananda was anxious, sad, and greatly upset, afraid of bothering the Buddha, he did not ask the world honored one the exact content of minor or trivial precepts. For this reason, opinions varied in the Sangha, which almost led to the split of the Sangha, as stated in volume 54 of the 4-part video. Okay, so this is what it's all about. This is what we're talking about in this section of the translation. Okay, this is from the sutras. Okay, at that time the bhikkhus declared, "Come, I will tell you the minor precepts." Some of the bhikkhus said, "Except for the 4 parajikas, 4 grave offenses, the rest are minor precepts." Others said, except for the 4 parajikas and the others are, and others said, and others said, and others said, and others said, and even others said. Okay? So in other words, everybody has different opinions. Okay? Therefore, okay, because of these divergent opinions, as soon as the Buddha Nirvana and the great arhats nirvana with him, the Sangha suddenly lost its center of gravity. Okay, other places I don't say capital. In addition, some disciples who had not yet attained, who were not yet detached, who had not yet attained a detachment from their desires declared, "From now on, we can do whatever we desire. Okay, got that? See where we're going with this? What is more, externalists, non-Buddhists, also took advantage of the situation to contemptuously say, the Buddha's disciples are like smoke. They compared the Buddha to fire and his disciples to smoke, dispersing after the fire is extinguished. In this state of internal and external confusion and derision, it would truly be inappropriate for the Sangha to fragment because of these divergent opinions. Because of this, to bring harmony to all, the venerable Kasyapa could not but use his position as Sangha leader to put across the resolution. What the Buddha had not first stipulated should not be stipulated now. What the Buddha had already stipulated should not be refuted today. Okay, remember this sentence. This is very important. We're going to keep repeating this and repeating this. Okay, so these are the crux. C-R-U-X, the crux. The crux means the most vital part. Okay. This decision was imperative for those times. Whoa. At that time of Venerable Kasyapa's resolution, okay, I added this for people that might not know what time. We just said those times. Meaning the time of the Buddha. Now we're saying those times meaning his resolution. The fact that at this meeting, 500 great arhats were present and none objected proves that it was imperative. As stated in volume 54 of the four-part Vinaya, okay, now here we go again. Okay. This is from the Vinaya. Okay. At that time, the great Kasyapa declared to all the bhikkhus, elders, nothing definitive has been spoken, and so we now do not know what the minor precepts are. From now onward, we should establish a system, okay? So this is also imperative. This is also the crux. This you need to also remember. We're going to repeat this again and again and again. What the Buddha had not first stipulated should not be stipulated. What the Buddha had already stipulated should not be refuted. We should follow what the Buddha has stipulated and learn it. Okay, so just a little bit different. At that time, they limited the system to this. Okay. Then, as volume 30 of the 5-part Vinaya of the Nihasasaka school states, Kasyapa again said, if we rashly eliminate precepts without knowing which are minor, externalists, non-Buddhists, will say, the practice of the Shakya Shramana is like smoke. When their master was alive, they followed all prescribed practices. After his parinirvana, they were not willing to continue learning. And that's what they're going to say. So because we don't want people to say bad things, we have to do something. Today, some believe that this was due to Venerable Kasyapa's personality. They may believe so because they lack understanding of the Sangha's non-egotistical situation of that time. Okay? Kasyapa did not make these rules and regulations because he has a big ego and wants to take over and wants to control. They don't have an ego, they're archons. But people say that, and the reason they say that is because they don't understand what an archon is. This tells us that Kasyapa had to make the resolution. What the Buddha had not first stipulated should not be stipulated. What the Buddha had already stipulated should not be refuted. To bring harmony to the Sangha. This resolution was not a teaching of the Buddha at that time. In addition to this, under the principle, what has been stipulated should not be violated, which Venerable Kasyapa had established at that time. We don't have to say at that time again. Oh, well, yeah, it was at that time. The idea that let all peoples give up the minor precepts was also personally stated by the Buddha before his death. The Buddha had stipulated this. Therefore, actively deciphering a method for renouncing minor precepts when necessary actually follows the Buddha's teachings and at the same time conforms to Venerable Kasyapa's principle. We should realize inconceivable are the wisdom, compassion, and skillful meaning of this world-honored great saying. If we realize if a reason indeed arose for having to state something to benefit sentient beings, how could the Buddha fail to mention it? You know, it's a little weird, right? Or is it only because at that time, Venerable Ananda, in a moment of not realizing its importance, did not ask, and so the Buddha failed to mention it? It's important to know that the Buddha's silence actually had profound meaning. Volume 30 of the 5-part Vinaya of the Mahasasaka school states, Purnamatrayani Buddha remarks, the world-honored one, Buddha, should not refute. Okay, we don't have to say Buddha, because right now everybody knows who that's referring. Should not thank you. 哎，你来了。
我有在，只是我有跑出去特别。
对啊，我就很担心你没有回来，我就没有500 cc。我就250 cc。I tell them I have to stay awake until 8 o'clock. 没有睡午觉，所以 I have to give me a lot of coffee. A lot of coffee. My medicine. 好，那我现在咳嗽。Yes. Coffee, iced coffee.
Yeah.
What we call this coffee float.
Yeah. Coffee float.
The first place I had coffee float was in Taiwan. Yeah, Beijing, Suzhou.
Oh.
In Taipei. Beijing 咖啡厅。我第一次去美心咖啡厅 Astoria Cafe was 1969。你知道我为什么去的吗？我的同学在美国学校是白的 ，they're white Russians. There were many Russians in Taiwan at that time. Because when Russia had the revolution, many Russians, white Russians, who were against the Communist Party, went to China. Then when China had the revolution, those Russians came to Taiwan. 你看好那脸色，已经第二代了。The grandmother went to China. My Russian friends, who are white people, were born in China. And then they fled to Taiwan. So the first time I went to Beijing, you know what I did? 我带了一瓶 vodka. 还有俄罗斯的那些州的报纸 to meet a Russian man and give him the vodka. 你知道那个可以枪毙，那个时候国民党啊、公安局啊，你不可以自己拿酒啊，酒是不可以的。
走私，
对啊，
抓起来了。
那很危险呐。You know, that was so dangerous. And that's how you couldn't do that. But they brought it in. Some people went, and some. So they said to me and the granddaughter, Gwendolyn, they said, bring this to the coffee shop, and there is a vendor. 1969, right? You go to Beijing, that was built by the Japanese. It was so old. All the lights are so old, and the chairs are so dark. And in the corner, there was a Russian man in a suit and a tie, with the lamp and the hat, reading the newspaper, and it was like 1920. It really looked like 1920. When we sat down, and my friend Gwen spoke to him in Russian, and we gave him the thing, we looked at it, and then I said, what? She says, coffees, I've seen one coffee. I said, yeah, and they had this, I had this, and then I had Danish. I had a yes, the Danish. We heard Danish. I had the pineapple Danish, and then they also did it and they gave me a bottle. You know, I was so young. So they gave me that, and then I thought, oh my God, this is so great. Now easy cheap. And then slowly I met all those Malaysian and Mafan and lady我们都被抓了，很恐怖。现在在那里开会我就听不懂嘛，我在旁边翻译。I already started translation when I was 20 in Beijing, Suzhou. I also started translation. With all my dictionaries on the table, walking in the and the first thing we translated was sutra. He was translating the sutras. And then after we translated sutras maybe 6 months, he said, teach me that. 我们没有办法去了解，因为要了解你要熟悉。我们两个不是熟悉者，所以我们根本不知道它的内涵。不翻。Then we stopped after 6 months, right? So we stopped. Then the next thing he said, let's translate Kant, K-A-N-T, you know Kant? 还是哲学康德 So he had a book called 判断 So 我们要把它翻成中文 So me and Ma Kai-Zhao spent 1 year 3 times a week for maybe 3 hours translating 康德判断 And my job was looking at words in the dictionary and talking about. After 1 year, he said, 这个原文是德文，不是英文。那德文翻成英文，现在我们是英文翻成中文，一定怎么不翻？The first 2 years of my life of translation, it was just tough. It was just. Yeah, but at that time, I was also working for Xinwenju and Guangxi Malaysia. So I was doing other stupid translations, political and economic. That's why I'm not one. And there was a poet there. His name was Jou-Yi. So when I would go there, I met Jou-Yi, and he would speak to me poetry, and 他就是用绳子绑他的裤子，他很穷的一个好像黄色。He would only eat one thing, you know. He had no money, he was very poor, and he always wore like really, not dirty, but like really poor clothing. And he used to call me 美男子。Oh, 我们美男子。So he asked me, did I go back there? 4 years ago, they said to me, 全部装修回到那个时代。So I said, 那个时代我在啊，我知道它是什么样子，我看他到底做的好不好。And then I said to the owner, I said, 你 你知道吗？那个时候我经常来的时候就看到一个写诗的一个人，我不知道你们认不认识Jou-Yi。他说你上去看，上去他就在那里，he was still there。I saw him 4 years ago， 那是我最后一次去那里跟Jou-Yi说拜，跟他那个。But those people who owned it, they lived next door. But what happened was they were Russian, but they married Chinese, so the children were French. And then they married Chinese, so the next generation, they don't look Russian, they look Chinese. So I used to teach the grandson. It's memories, right? Memories. Why are we talking about that? Purna Matra Yani Putra remarked, the world-honored one should not refute what has been stipulated and then stipulated again, you see. Kasyapa replied, the Buddha is the Lord, King of the Dharma, and is at one with the Dharma. What fault is there in stipulating and then refuting and then readopting what had been revoked? 我们这个翻译太好了，你看他的英文，你看这个跟我们翻译的，我们的翻译真是很好，很有魄力，我也Fa-tzang法师讲话一样，所以我们就是要用他的口气翻译，或者我们学翻译。所以我为什么一直听他的？每个礼拜二早上我都5点半听他开示到7点半 ，so I can just get that feeling. Okay, this one, I don't know why I put this here. In fact, the Buddha tells you. You see, in this one, 他补充了。See， 那个时候我就说了嘛，杨教授没有时间翻译。所以变成什么呢？他可能是问法师这个是什么意思，然后法师告诉他，然后他就写下来。他不是翻译，他是翻译法师跟他讲的话，因为这番话根本没有 ，it doesn't exist. I just want to show you that. You know, if you do something like that, you have to. What do you do here? You have to do this. 是真正的。你的口误要这样。This means 翻译的人补充。But if you have to quote like this, this means that this is part of the translation. 所以我花了半个小时，写了一再讲这句话到底在哪里 ，and I check on the old words, I check, and then I realized, oh, this is what Fa-tzang法师口头告诉他们。For some time now, eminent masters who have been studying the Vinaya have been perplexed and feeling it regrettable that at that time Venerable Ananda never asked for clarification. So we will see these little mistakes about which were the minor precepts because at that time, the Buddha was in pain. I was afraid to bother him, and at that time, I was trying to say and breaking upset. 解体就是经典，就是那个。Back then, Venerable Kasyapa even charged Ananda of committing a dustrata misconduct. Moreover, because of this, he put across the resolution. Minor precepts may not be rashly eliminated. As a result of this, these two teachings have existed in name only, since most Vinaya masters over the centuries had, for the most part, no means of reliably and adroitly adapting these two codes of conduct to the conditions of people upholding the precept. OK， 现在他讲的这段话是他的最关键的关键。 最关键的一半。We will call this the crux, C-R-U-X. Because here, in this sentence, he is saying the Buddha was enlightened. He had all these special powers. The Buddha vowed to keep the Dharma in the world. The Buddha followed he vowed to keep the Dharma in the world to help sentient beings. All of these things, how could he not say what needs to be said? If he had to say which were the small precepts or which one he would say it, but he didn't. So 这个非常关键 okay? So first, what I want to do is, Lin Hui, please read this red Chinese.
然，若从佛陀之所以要言，随方是无极舍条条戒用，世尊是声闻界的精神与断律，以及佛陀大智慧，三明六通，十力四无畏具足，特练因缘法，教养正知，善于调御众生，所行必得三世利益。所谓令正法显著，方便人巧机灵众生，开示悟人众生有善等的大佛正德观来看，佛陀绝不会勿忘勿说，我确实很重要，有必要说清楚，但却因意见并非正确之等未问，而放任其成为千古迷环。
So this is very difficult to translate into English without it being a huge sentence and no one will understand it. So the only way I could translate is if we break the Chinese into 2 or 3 sentences. But I asked you to ask Fa-tzang to do that, and he said,
He asked me, I couldn't afford. Yeah, he said, everybody can try to have independence.
yeah, so 他把这个就
有方便在这。
对给他的，这个很危险，因为还是他因为我觉得还是他要我们来做。But anyway， 还好经理承担这个任务，然后他是这样的。Okay, so Jimmy, which is it? 不是这个。
这其中一共有4个原因。
这个是原文，这个是原文。Okay, so 我们要比较。So is this the one you want us to do? 我以为你给我的还是这个？是哪一个？
上面这个
这个是。
这个是第一次学的，后来拿起来。
这个是第一次这个改了。Okay, so let's compare them. So 刚才讲的那番话 so this is the way Jimmy translated that into, she broke it down like this. Okay, Jimmy, can you read that?
从大圣佛的观等的4方面，首先，佛陀之所以要开源，随方辟及舍下所尽的论律；其次，世尊具声闻界精神与断律；第三，佛陀大智慧3明6。
Wait a minute, why is this big sound? Where's the
首先是第一，其次是 second， 这是中文的用法嘛？首先是
first， 其次是 second，
这是 second， 然后这是 third。第三，佛陀大智慧3明6通，实力4无畏具足，彻见因缘法，正遍知，善于调御众生。第四，佛陀所行必服3世利益，所谓令正法久处，方便权巧，接引众生，开示悟入众生，一佛 佛圣来看，就是我从这4方面来看。
Okay.
然后后面的结论是说，佛陀
Well, this like that has to go in the beginning.
也可以
Looking at it from the position, from the following position. Okay.
然后佛陀绝不会将小小戒，这小小戒是我加上去，
不是加上去的是
提醒
不是
写出来，
就是重复。
对，
对，重复。
可是它原文没有。
Yeah, because can't say 加上去 because translation 可以加，但是你可以重复说。Because if they don't have this subject, we have to repeat the subject. 所以有重复。
要把它切断成下面另外一个例子。
所以你改成英文。
对，然后佛陀绝不会将小小戒勿忘会说，或确实很重要，有必要说清楚，但却因弟子因为正定之等会问而方任其成为千古不坏。
Okay.
这样就可以变成。
Yes, you see, now this is closer to our grammar. This is closer to our grammar. Okay? So what I will do now is take this piece out.
This is confirmed by
We don't care.
就是我们得弄好。
Because he told us, and you can't, he'll never agree with it. He'll have to do his own style. But it doesn't matter, we'll just do this anyway. And then, yeah. 不要给他看，你觉得不要给他看 ，you know， 没有必要 ，OK， 没有必要，等他自己思维够了，而且改写以后，我们再比较。But I think for now, let's just keep it like this because I think basically this is correct. Okay. Okay. So this is how we control copy. Okay. Now we've already translated it, okay? And Sophia edited, and then I did some grammar corrections, and this is what I have, okay? So before we do this, let's just look at the original, why it's like this, okay? Nevertheless, the Buddha would definitely not have failed, okay, to talk about, okay, one sentence. From the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha, okay, okay, all of the Buddha's actions should accord with the 3 benefits to sentient beings, namely, enabling the true Dharma to last forever, skillfully and artfully connecting with and guiding all sentient beings, and instructing sentient beings to enlighten them to the only Buddha view. Okay? Added to this, the Buddha was sufficient in the great wisdom of, okay, now we have another list, the 3 awarenesses, 6 supernatural powers, 10 powers, and the 4 forms of fearlessness, okay? So therefore, okay, he could clearly observe causes and conditions and effects. He had attained correct, fearless enlightenment, okay, and he was exceptional at teaching people to tame their mind. Okay? Therefore, looking at the Buddha's intentions from these points, we see that using Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances, and renouncing minor precepts to exempt practitioners from Vinaya violation was the spirit and purpose behind the world-honored one stipulating usage of the Shravaka Vinaya. Okay? If what the minor precepts are is indeed very important, 这个也是加强语气，这个也是加强语气，这个不是过，对吧？ is indeed very important and needs to be clarified. Yet because the disciples were not yet correctly and fearlessly enlightened, some example, this we have to quote, because the disciples Because what I'm changing is 我们这里有个括弧，你把这个括弧拿掉，这个前文的后文要通，它的文本不可以影响到，不可以受到括弧里面的影响。So the sentence is, if what the minor precepts are is indeed very important and needs to be clarified, yet because the disciples did not ask,
Then should be comma and then should be followed subject verb. But you follow you use yet because. So there are two subordinated sentences.
Okay, so what should it be?
The disciples.
It is indeed very important and needs to be clarified. Take this out.
Yeah, take this out.
The disciples yeah, because you go right to here.
Are indeed very, so it really is. Why? What minor percent are is as this is in times and on. Is what the systematic position is in the other value percent or is.
假如这个东西是，这是一个名词。If this thing is indeed very important, it needs to be clarified. 然后呢 the disciples having not yet been correctly and beautifully enlightened. So the sentence is the disciples did not ask. The disciples did not ask.
Did not ask, okay, I see the main verb. The verb for the main clause.
Let's put it here, that'll be clear. And then quote it. If the minor precepts are indeed very important and need this is not a sentence though. I think I made a mistake with cheer. It's not it. But Because how does it join with here? Okay, look at this. Therefore, looking at the Buddha's intentions from these points, we see that using Vinaya for the opportunity to determine renouncing the minor precepts, doing some practices of denying violation, was the spirit and purpose behind the world onward, stipulating usage of the Shalaka Vinaya. Yet, although what the minor precepts are is indeed very important and needs to be clarified, the disciples did not ask. You see, starting there, the time of them that, and then trip. You see, that's it. Yet, although what the minor precepts are is indeed very important and needs to be clarified, yet, although what the needs to be clarified, the disciples did not ask. Now I can take out my comment. And then why did they not ask? Having not yet been correctly and fearlessly enlightened in Samuel 17. You see, that's why they didn't ask. Okay? Otherwise, the Buddha would definitely not let go of it. Not let it go. Not let it go. Otherwise, the Buddha would definitely not let it go and would not let it go so as to become an eternal mystery. Okay? So this is direct translation. Now let's cut this piece and put it where Ginny did Chinese English grammar. And put it here. And change it based on Ginny's English Chinese grammar. Okay? Okay, now all we have to do is just cut and paste. Why is that underlined? I didn't see underlined. I was wanting to talk about it. Okay, now let's look at it like this. So I've decided, now we've been together. 我没有想到你们会跟着我这个观点。因为我的习惯，大家就是叫我翻译口接受。So 3 years, because most people, translation is very difficult. So later, maybe after the next time I come back, I will get a simple translation, a simple article, and I will divide it. You have 10 lines, you have 10 lines, you have 10 lines, and then you translate it yourself. And then I will edit it. You edit it together. And then you could see how you are translating and why it's like that. I think that's a good idea. Okay. We'll divide something amongst you. Okay, now let's change this. 我们不是重打，我要扣上来。Okay, I'm going to move everything. The reason I have it in brown and black is because the brown was Sophia. You see, when she gave it to me, it was all brown, but then I made changes. My changes are the black pieces. Okay, so from so here for the sword All right, so that's one. 其次是君众生本界的精神。第三，佛陀的智慧三业，六通十分，十力四畏惧。这是测见因缘仿真贬之三语标语彰述众生。四佛陀行三是利益所谓领正法久住方便全场皆以众生这众生因果来看。I think this will be a lot easier this way. Okay, so 来看，
等四方面来看也可以，这四方面来看，来看放在方面的后面。对。
We would do it in English like this. We would say, do I have a Where is that in my English?
Oh, those sentences you underline here. 是没有到三码，没那么多。
What I'm looking for is, I want looking. Can I say looking from the perspective that? You're looking from the perspective that. 在哪里？哦，应该有。
From the
Because we said 看，我不可能没有看。
But you use from the Vinaya perspective.
Where?
Sentence 3. Yeah, from the Vinaya perspective of Buddha.
No, I want looking.
No, you don't use.
I want kan. I must have kan. Whatever. Whoa. Do I in Chinese? Okay. So, looking at in mine, I want it from mine. 你是说我有写的？在哪里？在哪里？
There it is. But looking at this from the perspective that the Buddha's intention for using Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances and renouncing sex.
There it is. Therefore, looking at the Buddhism, okay, yeah, I do that. I was like, nutty. Here it is. I just want to show you that it's all there. We have translated all of this. That's why I'm doing it 这个虽然花一点时间 but I want you to see that all the pieces are here. It's just in the wrong position. Okay? Okay? Looking at it from the, you can't say it that way. Looking at it from the Mahayana perspective. Right, that's okay. From the Mahayana perspective of okay? Looking at it from the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha. Why do you say that?
三个有四个，但它那是原文有的，等是原文有的。那四方面是我换出来的。
So where is 四方面？
就是有1、2、3、4，但是我换出来，它有4个关联。
哦，所以四方面是你自己加进去的 ，OK？
因为我把它分成4个嘛，所以还有4个。
Okay. So this is what you're saying. Looking at it from the 4 points from this is what we自己写出来，不是本来就。Looking at it from 4 points of the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha. Right? And then here I would have to say that first, let's see, that first, 佛陀之所要开人 the 用意 that okay. Here, right?
Yeah.
Down哪里？
小小的
到哪里？
万用。
OK， 首先是 OK 开源，这3个的用意 ，OK 的用意 ，OK。The Buddha's intention, we see that using Vinaya for local position is not to accept practices of Vinaya. But I think on also spirit and purpose, right? So you said 用意, right? Did you say behind the world on is when stipulating usage?
没有。
But you said 用意啊。
purpose.
Sure. Okay. So looking at it from 4 points. This should also be permanent. Oh, one now. Looking at it from 4 points of the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha. Okay. That first, the Buddha's intention At first, the Buddha's intention, 用意 using. 这不是不太一样，我现在就在改。You know, that the Buddha's intentions for using, you see, it's all there, for using Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances and renouncing Maya precepts. You see? This should go here, you see? That first, the spirit and purpose behind the Buddha's intention real intention, right? No, using. Behind the Buddha's using, you see?
That's not a yong.
Yung-yi.
Yong means intention.
Okay.
Buddha's intention for
what?
For Vinaya,
No, you can't say his intention for that. I need a verb. Creating, having, stimulating. I need a verb. This Kaiyan is exempt practitioners from Vinaya violation. That's Kaiyan. Oh, Kaiyan 做的是动词。The Buddha's intention for exempting practitioners from Vinaya formulation with. 因为他是用这两个让他们开源。Practitioner from Vinaya violation with Vinaya for local conditions and such and renouncing precepts. Okay. Okay, so that's first. Looking at it from the 4 points. Looking at it from 4 aspects. Four aspects of the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha. Okay? So looking at it from 4 aspects of the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha, Dharma. Okay? The first. Okay? You see? That's one thing. First, so looking at it from 4 aspects. First, the spirit and purpose behind the Buddha's intentions for exempting practitioners from Vinaya violation. The spirit and purpose behind the Buddha's intention was for exempting practitioners from Vinaya violation with Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances and renouncing. Excuse me?
The significance and the difference that I used was to exempt.
No. Okay, so first, the spirit and purpose behind the Buddha's intention was to exempt practitioners from Vinaya violation with, okay, so this is用这个来做, with Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances and renouncing minor precepts. Secondly, and this we can make a sentence. You see, that's the nice thing about it. You say, don't say anything yet. Let's just get this done, and then we'll look at it as one unit. Secondly, 世君自身为之。好了。Now you make it second. 我把这两个拼在一起。You see it? You see, Jenny? I put these two together. You see? Yeah. You see? 我这是第二个呢。
因为他前面是开源，这个是下面是另外一件事情。他先做这个事情，他很开源。Yes.
You see? So 第一个就是这个 intention. First, the Buddha intended to accept practitioners from Vinaya violation with Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances and renouncing minor precepts. That's the first one. 早一点讲，我就可以省很多时间了。
我英文不好啊，
哪里不好啊？你还表情这么好呢？你翻译的这么好，你哪里不好？ You just speak up. 教我闭着眼睛过马路，那个灯是红的，你要讲。
可是我不知道你闭着眼睛啊。
我是闭着眼睛啊 ，This is not my language. OK， 妻子是君 ，OK， 智 ，OK， so he stipulates 三文戒的经。Secondly, the spirit and purpose be. It's here. It would be the tradition, a tradition. The spirit and tradition. Tradition 就是一代一代的就继续做专业。Secondly, Secondly, the world honored one. Okay, where is this? 有没有这个？我在哪里？
有上面。
Where? No, I mean in my paragraph. It must be in my paragraph. 我们都翻译过啊。
Define the
Here.
Yes.
Secondly, the spirit and tradition. No, but then it's not like this. 气质世尊. So what you're saying here is that 世尊智三文戒的精神. Okay. The world honored one. Okay. So the world honored one. Well, here I don't think we would use stipulate. 智 would be maybe prescribe. Prescribe sounds better. Remember, we keep using these two words, prescribe something. Prescribe. A spirit. The spirit and tradition of the Vinaya. You see, that's the second thing. He created this, the Sravaka Vinaya spirit and tradition. You see, next. Third,
the world honored one, we wanted the world honored one.
Yes.
The spirit and tradition of what is the meaning? We prescribe the Sravaka Vinaya. Or I think it should be prescribe.
that's what it says.
The spirit and tradition that the on the I know what you're trying to say. The subject should be the subject because
World honored one.
Prescribed. The spirit
World honored one is the subject. The verb is prescribed. The object is Sravaka Vinaya. Spirit and tradition is adjective. Oh, no. This is the noun. This is the object noun. This is the adjective.
The subject should be the spirit and tradition. The spirit and tradition to Sravaka Vinaya.
No. 哎呀，这是最基本的文法，这是一个的嘛。
对，
也是。So 声闻界的这个 ，so 声闻界的精神 and 观念就是 the tradition and spirit. Okay, so this is what kind of tradition spirit? It's Sravaka Vinaya, spirit and tradition.
那个 spirit 的tradition 是他做这个声闻界的。 是应该把这个放到前面去，所以说是应该是说，
应该是他的精神跟观念。那个是他的 rather than 这个 Sravaka。
Okay, so how would you say it in English?
English 应该是说 the spirit and the tradition of the word one. Yes， 应该是这样。
Yeah, the word Arnold would prescribe, that prescribe, alright. That, 这样，
因为这个是他的
这是他的 the subject of the sentence.
Secondly, the spirit and tradition
of
the world honors one describing the Sravaka Vinaya.
Secondly, the spirit of the world honors one.
Well, let's see if it fits up here. Looking at it from four aspects of the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha. First, the Buddha intended to exempt practitioners from Vinaya violation with Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances and renouncing minor precepts. That's the first intention. Secondly, the spirit and tradition of the world honored one, prescribing. Wait a minute, no, I think that works. The spirit and tradition. Because from this perspective,
中文是这样。我知道你的意思，可是因为我不知道怎么写，我不知道。我知道你的意思。你的意思是说， 它这个精神跟观念是比较重点的，那是世尊他去治这个生亡界，他有这个重点是在他的精神这一块。可是英文写起来好像就。
Well, the reason why is because 我们现在在看佛陀是什么？对，我们现在在讲 Mahayana perspective of the Buddha 是什么意思？就是按照大乘佛教，佛陀是什么？对，对啊，你谁大乘佛陀观嘛？那大乘佛陀观的意思就是说，这个大乘看佛陀是什么，是干嘛的？第一个，佛陀他是这样做；第二个，佛陀是这样做；第三个，佛陀怎样怎样；第四个，佛陀怎样怎样。You see？ 但是这个第二个变成佛陀不是主名词，每一个都要佛陀作为主名词，所以乱掉了。真的 ，enjoy the experience of this. We're not talking about spirit. We're talking about Buddha. So secondly, the Buddha.
刚刚那样换其实也是可以的。
哎呀，也是开不开我。
不是，我是说他的意思跟你的意思有点不一样，可是你翻的那个意思其实跟结婚是可以的，只是他会觉得比较要强调这个，是因为你就中文来看，你不觉得就好像是其实是跟治生人界的精神观念，那我从前面看起来，可是如果说要讲这个重点，如果要讲佛陀的话，其实按照自身文件没关系，然后还有一个精神跟观念。
对大乘佛教来说，佛陀就是为了让这些 practitioner，you know， 对大乘佛教来说，佛陀建立这个东西，就是为了这些修行者可以不犯戒。第二呢，佛陀就是创造了这个对
他是戒的，
他就创造了这个，我就是按照你的，
我是按照你的中文来看，他那个那个中文，我有看另外的意思。
所以佛陀创造了这个，他治了这个。按照大乘佛教，第一个佛陀就是做了这个，第二个佛陀做了这个，第三个佛陀做了这个。我在讲话，你也在讲话，你没有听到我在说什么？我在解释了，你不要讲话。我现在在讲的，我是说我们现在写下面4个东西是，全部都是要跟这个合并。那这个是说什么？它有4方面。从4个角度看大乘佛教的佛陀观，所以每4个都是要以佛陀为主，而说佛陀是干嘛，佛陀是做什么，不是讲什么精神，你这样就跑掉。So the first thing is that the Buddha intended to do this. The second thing is that the Buddha prescribed this. The third thing, the Buddha, you see, because of the Buddha has this. The fourth thing is that the Buddha wants to follow this. You see, and therefore, you know, looking from all these perspectives, then the Buddha definitely would not do this and cause all this. 是这样。
对。你的问题我等一下可以告诉你。
你谁？我告诉你，我们把这个就翻好了，然后我们就看Fa-tzang法师后来出来什么东西以他为主，因为说不定他完全不是这个意思。这是经理对他这番话的意思，应该是这样的。对啊，所以我们现在翻译你的话，看我们不管前面的，这个前面的Fa-tzang法师以后我们讲，假如我们这个快要结束了， 而且他没有提什么话，那我们
检验室的时候，
我们就把这个用你的就可以。
我们
没有反应啊。
我们检验室的时候给他看。
No， 没有必要嘛。Because 也可能是这个意思啊。This is your interpretation of what he said. You could be right. Okay. So looking at it from 4 aspects of the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha. First, the Buddha intended to exempt practitioners from Vinaya violation with Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances and renouncing minor precepts. Okay, 他要用这个跟这个来做这个。Okay, 它是同样。Second, the Buddha prescribed this spirit and tradition. Okay, so 佛陀自己是他创造这个东西的 spirit and tradition. Shavaka Vinaya, the spirit and tradition. 他创造这个。That's number 2. Third, okay, 佛陀。Third, here we would just repeat that from the aspect of the Buddhas okay, the Buddha's what? Wisdom. Okay, now I'm going to take it on a right, so the aspect of the Buddha was sufficient in this, okay, and this, and he had this, and could do this, okay, come on. Okay, yeah, you down. And third, from the aspect of the Buddhas, okay, third, from the aspect that the Buddha was sufficient in the great wisdom of the 3 awarenesses, 6 supernormal powers, the 10 powers, the 4 forms of fearlessness. Okay. Now that's too much, so let's have to add this. And that he could, let's say, added to this. Third, from the aspect, okay, 这个全部都是3了，这个都是3。Third, from the aspect that the Buddha was sufficient in the great wisdom, the awareness, 6 supernatural powers, 10 powers, and the 4 forms of formlessness. From the aspect, third. Keep it going. It's a lot, but I can't make it. And he could clearly observe causes, conditions, and effects, and he had attained correct wisdom. I know somebody and was settled at teaching people to change their minds. Well, you see, this is not a sentence. I have to, this is not a sentence. It's not a complete sentence. because that is so long, you know. So secondly, okay, so first we have this. This is one sentence. This is one sentence, okay? This is one sentence. Oh, I know, just repeat this. No, that's so good. I said, even if I say looking at it from the perspective. Okay, like this. From the third aspect, comma, the Mahayana perspective is that. OK， 这也就是一句话，这也就是补充一些 Mahayana。OK， 懂吗？ So to make this into a sentence, I have to take this piece out from the front. You see? 我在这里再补充这个，或是太远了，已经讲了那么多话，我们已经忘记我们在讲什么。You see? So that is for here. We would say from the third aspect. Okay. The third aspect from the Mahayana perspective is that, you see, 我就在重复前面那一段, so we don't forget what we're talking about, is that the Buddha was sufficient in great wisdom of the three awarenesses, the low power, and for Moses, that's one thing. He could clearly observe, and he could clearly observe the effect. And he had attained recognition, and was exceptional at teaching people to change their mind. Okay? The fourth aspect is that the Buddha, you see, 又是 the Buddha 为主。Let's say the Buddha here. I don't know if I should say that. I don't know if I can switch it. It makes it confusing. But in English, I think people need to get used to that. Okay, 第四佛陀心地风和. Yes. So the fourth aspect is that all of the Buddha's actions should occur with the three benefits, sentient beings, namely, and then it's skillfully and optimally guided the discussion. 哎呀，离开完了，刚才好精彩。
Sorry.
You missed a very interesting. You missed a very interesting.
我去可以看。
Oh, that's right. It's recorded. Okay. The fourth aspect is that the Buddha The fourth aspect is that all of the Buddha's actions. How do you say in? How about must? Must is more. Must. 必须的。Must.
它不是必须，它是必定。
Definitely.
对，没有人叫它必须，可是它就是会。
The fourth aspect is that all of the Buddha's actions definitely accord with the three benefits to sentient beings, namely enabling the true Dharma to last forever, skillfully and artfully connecting with and guiding all sentient beings, and instructing sentient beings to enlightenment. True enlightenment, instructing sentient beings to enlightenment. 开示悟入众生，开示悟入众生，开示悟入众生一口生。
意思是开示众生，步步一口生。
Instruct sentient beings to, so that they become. How about that? And instructing sentient beings to enlighten, in order to enlighten them to enlighten them of. So here, in order to enlighten them of, in order to enlighten them of, only Buddha vehicle. Okay? So that's a form. Okay? Everybody happy? V? 不是 V 是那个我跟你讲过的，上礼拜说的 it's that。对啊，上礼拜不是讲过的。Okay. So these we will also translate. These have already been translated, so we have to edit them. Okay. So like kan is in the front. Okay, that's in the front. Now we go to the next part. Okay. 佛陀绝不会. Okay. Let me just read it one more time. Looking at it from four aspects of the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha. First, the Buddha intended to exempt practitioners from Vinaya violation with breath and breath. Secondly, the world-honored one prescribed the Sravaka Vinaya spirit and tradition. Okay. Third, the third aspect from the Mahayana perspective is that the Buddha was sufficient in the great wisdom of the three awarenesses. Like that?
Yeah.
The three awareness. I think in my is that it? I didn't Google, I didn't check this. I didn't put this in our, how come I didn't put this in our glossary at the end? Okay. I Googled this, I thought I collected it.
因为你在页上没有分。
不是，它是这样子的。三明六通. This is, they put this together to show how. Okay, now look. Do you remember this toy? Okay, which do you want to look? 法相字典 or 佛
学大词典。
Okay, they do not have English translation. All right, so let's look at it in let's look at it here. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I knew I looked it up.
Yeah.
I looked it up. You know, 我不会自己去想，我都会查，我凭什么去自己翻呢？我都会上网看有没有别人翻，肯定有别人翻。So and also the way they say 6 supernormal, they don't say supernatural. That's very important. But many people translate supernatural. 绝对不要说 supernatural, because supernatural 是超自然。神通是自然的一部分啊，是很自然的事情，就是有一些一般的人修不到的 ，normal people do not have it, so it is 超越正常的凡夫。So supernormal means 超越凡夫。Don't say supernatural, always say supernormal. Oh my God, you forgot to tell me take a break. 我们3点半要休息15分钟。Okay, now we would take a break. Let me just save all of that. Okay, so here we are. Let's just finish this little piece here. The 3 awarenesses, 6 noble powers. Okay, and he could clearly observe pleasant conditions and effect, and he had attained a credit of that, and was exceptional at teaching the mind. Okay, so all of that. And then the 4th aspect is that all of the Buddha's actions definitely accord with the 3 benefits to sentient beings, namely, which is also no problem. Okay. Because of this, now we have to join it together. Okay? Because of this, or something. Therefore. Okay? 佛陀绝不会将这个Buddha would definitely not have failed to talk about, mistakenly forgotten, which is better? Failed to talk about, 勿忘为说，勿忘。Is this way or more? More. Way. So, yeah, I think. To say mistakenly forgotten is closer. Fail to is 比较轻松的 but mistakenly you like忘, you know. I think that is closer. 他的意思就是 fail, but the way he said it, would not have mistakenly forgotten to talk about. Okay, and then did you add this, Jenny? Okay, so that's this piece. This is 你加的还是他原文是这样？
其实他真正的意思就是在一个小小节，勿忘会说就是在讲方面讲小小戒是什么，在讨论就是在讨论小小戒，所小小戒。不是，
我现在问你的，你刚才讲那个，你现在回答我。这个他原文也讲了，你加进去 ，OK 的。About. You see, Then I must add this. You see, that's why I asked you. Okay, ask about the minor precepts. All right. Now this 4 is and. Yeah. Okay, let's stop here. Take a break for 15 minutes. I'm not going to close that. Just 15 minutes. Go to the bathroom, walk around, stand up. I already closed it. Save. Always save. And always back up. I put it in 3 places. Okay. So let's take a break till 3:10. Okay? 3:10. 4:10. 4:10. Okay. My body's so stiff.
You see, you didn't expect that we will follow you so long. Actually, we planned that we'll fly to New York when you get home. When you get too old to fly here.
Okay.
We do the
I'll never
situation
be
there.
too old.
早餐到晚上午餐到点晚谢谢。
我今天也是没有吃乱吃，所以我刚刚肚子饿，跑去吃一个饼。大家吃点心吧。对啊，就是午餐。我朋友说，你那个地方可以放那里的。
我重点是在讲他自己对，
那个要什么什么精神拘谨，
所以说他讲是说天那落后一直在强调那个用的这些环境。好，身为其次方面是在帮他是在对。然后你这样弄的话，变成说我从积极好，我是要还是来理解，中医来看，从开源好，来看，好，从他这个是生理这个精神惯例来看，没有你就看的没有，你看的是单体转的。对，如果你把它切的要从单体来，你把它 break down 再来看它变成这样。但是你如果是你从前面看的时候，把参加完第2点是在看前面，如果你是单独看第2项，会觉得就它是在讲后面有提到出来。我们从这4方面来看，讲到从4方面的时候，就是你看过啊，然后从它的是声闻界，它整个是声闻界，对声闻界，然后你再细读它说它是声闻界那个它的背后的精神跟惯例来看它自身会有什么事情。你就会知道你变成你要看的时候是这样，你要是你知道我当时没有吧？我知道设计，当时做设计跟我们来，你看这个有什么的想法？是现在我们在看，其实当然我不知道你说实践的话，但是我们现在没买，我拿到买，这种风格是就知道我们那时候想法我们知道，它原本的想法是什么？那我们从几个方面来看，是我认为重点是说啊，我 对，一下，尤其是当我听到你的，不是，因为为什么我会把它回来唱的原因，是因为我们没办法翻译，就是我想把它，但是对，这样来翻的时候，翻译是为了英文，所以说要从英文的观点来看，那不然的话，从中文的观点来看，我们就从好像这个原文就没有。
知识馆才用说，是吧？
这是我的早餐，我们早餐这样子。
然后变成我们
original text 其实应该是要这样，你 original text 是original text 是法藏法师的原文，而不是我 break down。因为我好奇，那我 break down 的原因是为了法藏法师。为什么他的英文原理是教育不是教育？不是，我讲 break down 是为了要翻译。你应该看原文的东西，跟我们翻出来的英文是一样。对，
就没有想到。
对，你要去看原文的东西，当我按照我们要去跟这些东西解释，原言是它的动作嘛，翻出来的英文的。你不要你现在掉进去那4个 app 的东西，掉进去那里面，你要去看法藏法师的原文，只是才能够知道。对，其实法藏法师的我其实也离这个不远哈。它的重点是我们应该去 study 的是什么？这个 study 的是他为什么要说讲的这个？
昨天说那边好吗？
所以说他其实没开始在讲他的后面的
是的，还是去到对啊，早上刚来之后，
突然人家看好像
他都说在做200其实我们的店，对，我们做工程，他们工程很难做，工程要几个几个，不是专做是车大很小，因为他们
能力要先做，对，他在就7号，所以7号一样的道理，还有7号要不完，
真的是在7号跟11号，
在11号，我以为是2号我怎么以为又2号？他跟中文的他，我今天一直在那看2号，我在想还有10个，我一直在想你2号。还好7号呢，比较清楚。然后我问他，然后我就一直觉得是11号，但是2号。这样哦。哎，可是我在我姐姐他们家那里看到2号也可以经过这个安全这样的话，这句话你就不会去想到他的经典。这样哦，我一直以为是2号。我的天哪！在火车站那边搭2号，然后搭到北安路这一站。搭2号，搭17号，
是的，他刚才是搭公站，
搭7号，7号。我以前都搭计程车，后来我发现这个公传的那个时间在讲，我就搭11点20分的车，然后搭在火车站搭1点1点25的7号。是因为搭到这边就是刚好，就是因为它有原因，所以后面才会开始1点50到1点10才会动。就是我跟他接受公司的来嘛，如果他发现是什么，是因为有事情发生，他不会，他本来就现在还会有很多人开始做客，他才说啊，对，那你就没有哦，你是这边就
因为走过去要走到那个。
没有，我知道，你要在往北走
就没有了。
对，是这样。对，好像是从我哪进来，对，没错。后面上没办法，因为它是走小北这两边会。我刚刚看它是走小北这一边，你知道北安路，就是我们要转进北安路，是不是要赶快银行那个站？
哦，那我知道了。
可是那个延平市场走到那里，好像还蛮久。
我知道从延平市场走过来啊。
哦，
没有，因为我好像提早1个小时到我们骑到房子的中嘛。
那你可以从延平市场那里搭车去安城火车站。啊，对哦，
很少是本来都走到底，
他不知道，因为他讲来的，
就前面这条一直走到底。
都是
还是很远。对对对，他还在对，那因为他过桥在就在最顶在那边。
没有，他不会到这里。
对，他不会到，他是公司。
因为我昨天做核心奶，他在BengKong上面，然后我就迷失了方向，因为我刚刚也迷失他，然后刚老不知道因为他那边
你们今天从那个长廊会馆来多少钱
？250，
对，就说
台南的长廊会馆在哪里？
在很远的地方。
因为我都不知道哎。
8公里。
而且我跟他说，他可以去住那个教师会馆，很不错的。
那你也可以住我。其实我跟他讲，对啊，
因为你住
教师会馆在那个很好那里，那里很好搭车哎。那你到火车站就可以，不是那里可以哦，那里没有西门路呀，
到西门路还很远。
因为我觉得
就是他的时间，出发时间到这边。
我在想今天，然后8点就是8点7点我就下课，应该是可以。
他没考过。
对啊，提早10点下课，因为我要8点多才回家。
所以因为你回家不会太累，
今天有开车那么多人。
还好，因为我那时候那么超好睡，只要
你开车到，
不管搭火车，我要搭火车，我从海中就直接。
可是我在想，那你对蛮好，可是我就想着，因为其他有上就还好，然后我所以你其实礼拜六1分钟打了，我就对，然后我就比较喜欢，因为
讲的大部分都
我们是就3假日的吗？我记得礼拜5都3假，就太久了。
对啊，一般都
对啊，是说没有，我们
有
以前都在去火车站啊。
也是
吧？有开车吧？你有开车吗？哦，你开车哦。哦，那我们可以一台先离开，就让他收，让你收一下，就待很久。因为我要搭8点16的火车，一结束我就待很久。啊，你也是在火车站搭车吗？对不对？
我在对，我没有回去，可是我们是在。
你要去搭就是客运的，
对，那也是。
我们站台有没有是火车站？
Okay, let's continue till 5 o'clock. Gonna take 1 hour break, or as long as it takes you to come back.
Excuse me, we end the class a little bit early, 10 minutes earlier today. It's unfortunate train at 8:15.
So because you're leaving and because you're catching a train, all of us must leave early. I don't think so. Just leave 10 minutes. 你自己提早10分钟走就好了。We let everybody has to stop.
因为他一走的时候，我要带走4个人。我要开车，然后要带他的话，又带他跟他妈妈一起走，就剩下2个。
We are all going to train station.
剩下他们2个。
可以啊。
Okay.
对啊，但是
我要带他们，我要带他们走。
那您会在吗 ？Okay, so just everybody go 10 minutes. There's still 2 people. 我难 ，you know， 来台湾不是那么容易的事情，我们要。
你要多说的哟。
对啊，我要跑来这里呢，很辛苦啊。所以我们要多尽量上学的，尽量上。Okay. So when you have to leave, Jeffrey,
Yes.
everybody just quietly stand up and go. And then weekend where you stay. Don't waste time. Okay. So Jeffrey, did you ever go to Ben's temple?
Yes, I've been there.
What's it like?
A small temple.
He has a 佛学院.
Yeah, it's a 佛学院,
How
but
many students?
I don't know. I'm here
It's all men, right?
Yeah, it's all men, and it's建立道场 yeah， 建立道场很多人吧。
南普佛的佛学很多人，那它是小吃吧？我是没去过。
目前这是很少。
那不会，因为南普佛。
现在的 results, still not big, still small.
Well,
因为那个法藏法师曾经在南普，
然后教育展 ，it's long time ago.
20 years ago.
Why only 3? It should be 4. Did I delete it? Oh yeah, I did, because I want to save. You have to delete it to save it, actually. Okay. There's so many things I want to translate. It's hard. Every time I read something of value, I think, oh, I want American people to know about this. I need to translate it so my people will read it. Okay, so we will stop at 5 o'clock. Okay, so 50 minutes. Is that how you go? What's wrong? This laptop is 5 years old. I think it's starting to get weak. Okay, so now we have 2 versions. Alright, let's finish the last part of this one. So we have to have some kind of connection with this stuff here, okay? We're saying all this, looking at it from the 4 aspects of first, second, third, fourth. That's a lot of information. So here now, we have to connect. So because of this perspective, let's say like that. We call it perspective, right? Yeah. Because of this perspective, okay, the Buddha would definitely not have mistakenly forgotten to talk about the minor precepts. So here I will say talk about it, okay? And then here we can say the minor precepts, okay? And then here, let's say or, 确实很重要. I think for that or, we can't say or, we can't say and, let's say also. Because this is adding to it, okay? Instead of it is, let's say being. Indeed, very important. And needing clarification. And needing clarification but having not yet been credited, the disciples did not ask. Okay. Where does this come from? Yeah, this is like, here it is. 二方认识. Otherwise, the Buddha would definitely not let it go. Can we say 放任 did not let it go? Would not allow it to become. Would not allow it to become. To become an internal. Why internal? Oh, eternal. Why would we say eternal?
Eternal means won't change.
Yeah, that's true. Chenko has been for a long, long time, you know. Everlasting. But if you say eternal or everlasting, it's 永远是这样子，但是不是永远，就是从古以来是这样子，将来呢？
将来也是这样，因为我已经入灭了，没有人可以再讲。戒是佛讲，没有人可以说，没有人可以去解小小。
How about becoming a mystery forever? Becoming a mystery forever. Yeah. If we say a mystery everlasting, that would also, it sounds too long also. A mystery forever, it sounds too serious, too an everlasting mystery. Becoming an everlasting mystery. How about that? An everlasting mystery. An everlasting mystery. Everlasting 因此好像没有尾了，就是一直这样，没有结束。Okay? Yes.
We got a suggestion from our online reader.
Okay.
She said, 勿忘为说有两层意思，勿是 made a mistake, 忘是 forgot. So her suggestion is, Buddha would definitely not made a mistake and forgot to talk about.
Yeah, but would not made a mistake is saying mistakenly forgotten is the same as would not make a mistake.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else have other opinion? Anything else they want to say? Okay, so thank you for that, but it's the same meaning.
You were talking to her, the online reader.
Thank you. Anybody else have any other opinions? Any suggestions? I personally think this is very, very nice. I think you did a very good job. You know, I think Fa-tzang should be very happy. We did not butcher what he wrote. Okay? And we have two choices, harsh and eat. This one is very hard to read. Nevertheless, the Buddha would definitely not have failed. Let me just edit this. Would not have mistakenly forgotten to talk about. From the Mahayana, okay, so 他把这个重点放在最前面 you see? The way Ginny rewrote it is, 他先讲从这个角度来看，所以他不会这样。Okay, so this is different. From the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha, all of the Buddhist actions should accord with the three benefits of sentient beings, namely. Okay, so 重点是这个。Okay, then added to this, the Buddha was sufficient in all of these things. Okay, therefore, looking at the Buddha's intentions from these points, okay, Okay, so 它没有排列1、2、3、4 but it each point. We see that using Vinaya for local conditions and renouncing to examine what is the spirit and purpose. You see, 这个是完全，这个跟今天讲的是完全，这一段是完全。Okay? Yet, although what the minor precepts are is indeed very important. So the only big difference is this. Okay, that's the big difference. Yet, although what the minor precepts are is indeed very important and needs to be clarified, the disciples students not ask. Why not? Having not yet been correctly enlightened. Alright? Otherwise, the Buddha would definitely not let go. What did we say here? Would not let? Permitted to. It's the same. Would not permit to become an eternal mystery. Okay? So with this one, this is the thing that is most different from the other translation. Okay? So like I said, 中文不是我的母语。中文写什么，它的口气，它的怎样，我都是要看你们做决定，是以你们为标准。So therefore， 这份中文你怎么解释，我都能翻了。你说是 A， 我可以翻成 A； 你说是 B， 我也可以翻成 B。I could translate anything. You see, but are we translating it correctly? That's the danger. Okay? So repeat after me. Okay, let's do some pronunciation practice. Looking at it.
Looking at it.
From 4 aspects.
From 4 aspects.
Of the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha.
Of the Mahayana perspective of the Buddha.
First, the Buddha intended to exempt practitioners from Vinaya violation with Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances. And renouncing minor precepts. Secondly, the world-honored one prescribed the Sravaka Vinaya spirit and tradition. The third aspect, from the Mahayana perspective, is that the Buddha was sufficient in the great wisdom of the 3 awarenesses. 6 supernormal powers. 10 powers. And the 4 forms of fearlessness. And he could clearly observe. Causes, conditions, and effects. And he had attained correct, fearless enlightenment. Samyak Sambuddha. And was exceptional at teaching people. To tame their minds. The 4th aspect is that of the Buddha's actions.
All of the Buddha's actions.
The fourth aspect is that.
The fourth aspect is that.
All of the Buddha's actions
All of the Buddha's actions
definitely accord with
definitely accord with
the three benefits to sentient beings,
the three benefits to sentient beings,
namely,
namely,
enabling the true Dharma to last forever,
enabling the true Dharma to last forever,
skillfully and artfully connecting with and guiding all sentient beings,
skillfully and artfully connecting and guiding all sentient beings,
and instructing sentient beings
and instructing sentient beings
in order to enlighten them of
in order to enlighten them of
only Buddha vehicle.
only Buddha vehicle.
Okay, this is special. Because of this perspective, okay, one Mahayana perspective, four aspects, one perspective. Okay, so because of this perspective, the Buddha would definitely not have
The Buddha would definitely not have
mistakenly forgotten to talk about
mistakenly forgotten to talk about
the minor precepts.
the minor precepts.
Also,
Also,
being indeed very important
being indeed very important
and needing clarification,
and needing clarification,
but
but
having not yet been correctly and fearlessly enlightened,
having not yet been correctly and fearlessly enlightened,
Samyak Sambuddha,
Samyak Sambuddha,
etc.,
etc.,
the disciples did not ask.
the disciples did not ask.
虽然需要这个，但是因为他们这样的，所以他们没有这个。你谁是关的这样？ Otherwise,
Otherwise,
the Buddha would definitely
the Buddha would definitely
not allow it to become
not allow it to become
an everlasting mystery.
an everlasting mystery.
Okay, now we're going to the next section. Okay, yes. Yeah. In spite of, yes. In spite of would work very well. Yes, in spite of.
In spite of.
This is more serious. In spite of. You see, the Chinese, he only has San, Xue, and R. So these San and Xue and R, there are so many ways you could translate it. So it's important for us to be flexible. Okay? So in spite of is much more straighter. It's much stronger than all of. Okay, very good catch. Okay. Yes. Yes. So here's the clause. Being indeed very important and needing clarification. So that's the clause. Okay. Anything else?
There's a B forgot to delete in the middle of the
Oh,
paragraph.
I have to say that again. It's crazy. Ginny, tell her what that V is.
是一个注解。
Sorry. I said that for
刚
like
刚已经讲过。
30 times. I said that like 50 times already. Everybody keeps telling me delete the V, delete the V. And I keep saying I can't delete the V. The V is that. Okay, anything else? Huh? Five. Number 5.
这是一个分
我知道啊，是在书里说，就是说，就是分了的表示方法。
Yeah, because there's many ways to do footnotes. So Yang Jiao用的这个英文 footnote 的方法 with the Chinese footnote, he used numbers. Where's the number? There's a number over there. He's 21 or something. There's a number. I think Ginny deleted the number. But there's a number. Here it is, it's 20. I said that with two. It's confusing.
因为那个是空过来的，不是实际上。
Yeah. I should add it, otherwise it'll get confusing. And it's not 20, it's a different one. The problem is that yeah. The problem is that you see here, all these, later after, because now we have Chinese, we have English, we have Philip's original, so after I remove, when we finalize the document, I will remove all of Philip's translation, but we will still have English and Chinese. Footnotes will be double. So I don't know how they want to sort that out, but I'll just give it to Sophia. There's motivation. I only want to translate. Okay, now let's move on. Hopefully it's not too crazy. Not it. Where? There.
英文前面找来看，
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Okay. Now, this section here, okay, there, Philip didn't translate this. There, he doesn't have this piece. I don't know why. I don't know. Okay, if you can find it someplace, tell me and just email it to me. So I don't have something to edit. This is just my direct translation. Okay, Jeffy, read this.
由此，我们可以确信，我们后世弟子实不该因为佛陀未明示如何做，而将佛陀所亲制的随方定名及少角剑和省2种遗诏任意的舍弃。
Okay, read the English.
From this, we can be sure that we disciples of future generations should truly not arbitrarily
Abandon.
arbitrarily abandon the true teachings of Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances, and renounce minor precepts that were personally stipulated by the Buddha because he did not clearly instructed on what to do.
Okay, anybody want to change anything? You see, that's this one. Did not clearly instruct on what to do. He is Buddha. So capital. How many people are watching?
2.
Do you know who they are? Is Michelle there? Is Sophia there? Where is she? 她负责这篇。Sophia. Not Sophia. Sophia. Sophie. Sophia. There's two. Sophie. Sophia. And what does that mean? What does Sophie mean? What does Sophia mean?
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Crazy of wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom. It means wisdom. Is that nice? Okay. Any problems? It's okay to have no problems. You know, to learn it doesn't solve our real problems. Always have to know that. Do our people who are watching online have any suggestion? You can phone me. My phone number is 098123773. If you have a question or a problem, you can just phone us. Okay, anything? Okay, 没有就算了啊，也可以没有啊。OK， 从来都没有。但你不习惯，很多人会犯对。第一次打破记录3年。
是师傅自己不习惯吧？
Okay, repeat. From this we can be sure that we disciples of future generations should truly not arbitrarily abandon the two teachings of Vinaya for local conditions and circumstances, and renounce minor precepts that were personally stipulated by the Buddha, because he did not clearly instruct on what to do. Okay, Joy, read this.
我们应该知道，佛陀之所以未明示其具体内容，其实是因为这样将更符合佛陀智戒立身之本意。
Okay. English.
We should be aware that the actual reasons behind the Buddha not clearly instructing is actually because this better conform to the true intentions of stipulating the precepts to benefit sentient beings.
Okay. Am I correct again?
Yes.
Okay. 所以啊，我的道场说的对，我的道场的理解里说，BengKong都是利用我们学中文，开这些课都是为他自己想学习怎么翻译，利用。He's using us to improve his Chinese. Repeat. We should be aware that.
We should be aware that
The actual reasons behind
the actual reasons behind
the Buddha not clearly instructing
the Buddha not clearly instructing
on what to do
on what to do
are because,
because
you see, this is reasons for this better conformed to
this better conforms to
the true intentions of
the true intentions of
stipulating precepts
stipulating precepts
to benefit sentient beings.
to benefit sentient beings.
You see?
This would better conform to.
Okay, this would better conform to is very nice. Okay, 这个会 Okay, goody. Anything else? See, just these little changes like this makes it, you got too sweet, you know, when you read it. So even those little things we need to adjust. 你看，杨教授快要崩溃了。这个时候，你看这段话，他这样翻 four items. He's already so tired, you know. 他碰到我的时候，他教我可能4年5年以前，他跟4年以前，他跟我就拜托他，帮着跟我合作，一起来翻译。When I said no, I thought he was going to start crying. He was so sure. 他还请我吃饭，还付计程车钱，从我住的地方到他的那里450块钱。那我还要他给我乘车停车回家。800, that's 900. What is that? 800. I'm not taking a bus. It's so hot. I'm so old and fat. I said, no. I'll only go visit you if you pay my taxi. Go and come. Plus lunch. So he spent about 1,000 NT. And then when I looked at this, I said, no, I'm not going to help you translate this. You need a committee. You need to have a group of people. You need to have Fa-tzang Pasha sit together with us and explain. This is serious. This is not a game.
真的是种子，你还是华人，终究还是华人。
Well, yeah, that's kind of their drama because at that time, they had to follow, you know, they had to India. They were on their way to India. Okay, so now we have this little, okay, so that little thing, 4 items. 尽列数 Okay, Vita, read this.
今列数其原因约有以下事项。Today, outlining these reasons, there are about 4 items listed below. Yes.
I would say like this. Right? This is better. Now, the following 4 items, following just means listed below. The following 4 items outline, and when you say outline, then you know it's a list. The following 4 items outline these reasons. Okay? I think that's clear now. You don't need to say it exactly. right? Everybody agree? Because Jin is not really today, Jin is now. You know, 现在在我们现在这个世界。Repeat, now, the following four items outline these reasons. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we're going to have 4 items now. So the first reason, okay, 第一个理由，为了干嘛， right? Okay, so, Joy 妈妈 ，no， 你要讲中文了，你要念中文了。
念中文就好了。
对，我昨天说我不会考你。
那我念中文，符合佛不律例戒法之常规。
Okay, Joy, help your mother.
To conform with the Buddha's convention of not prescribing precepts in advance.
Right. Every time the Buddha prescribed precepts, it was because something happened. He never just, let's do this, you know. There was always a reason. So that's what that's talking about. He never prescribed it in advance. Okay? And that's his convention. Convention means 习惯做. It's the convention, 就是习惯做. Okay, any problems there? 哎呀，我们这么快可能会翻完了，马上法师会疯掉了。只要我们真的把它翻完 ，we're finished. 啊，
非常的感动。
I don't think 感动 ，people be shocked. Repeat, to conform with the Buddhist convention.
To conform with the Buddha's convention
Of not prescribing precepts in advance.
of not prescribing precepts in advance.
Okay, everybody agree? Any suggestions? You sure? Okay, let me get rid of this. Okay, Jimmy, Chinese and English.
众所周知，宣文戒法乃是随犯不如法，因缘之发生，而后随之自戒以尽的。若活于众生未犯之前，而必先自戒，则不但会令地主生起疑惑，不敬重戒法。同时也会吗？不用。It is well known that the Savaka
Vinaya
had been stipulated as situations that were often
Offenses.
against Dharma arose.
Right. Yeah, you see? That's when he did it. If something happened that was against the Dharma, then he would stipulate. You see?
This
Occurred.
Set was stipulated to
Prohibit. 就是禁止
such
offenses.
offenses.
所以你有没有发觉五比丘哈，他们每次你会是那个五比丘，他们每一次发生事情，信徒看了不顺眼，去找佛说，你看那五个脱光衣服，把他们的东西都放在那个树上，然后去玩水，跳来跳去，什么都可以看到，很难看，你们身体怎么可以这样？ And then the Buddha made a precept. 出去玩不可以游泳 ，OK， 不可以游泳 ，OK。五比丘以后有没有做 ？No。They immediately did not do it. 这个女孩子看到比丘走路，你可不可以爬树啊？给我们把那个椰子，我们要吃椰子或是香蕉还是什么？那我们都没有穿内衣啊。 那那些比较爬上去的去拿那个，那些女孩在下面看，在吵架，你看我们真的看到了。那佛就说，我们去让人不可以爬上去。That's where it came from. 但是他不是说你永远不能爬树，然后假如有一只猫在树上，然后快要被什么吃掉了，你们绝对不可以爬树去救啊！你看我现在穿衣服连裤都有了，我可以爬树啊 ，you know. And now people go swimming for health and exercise, you know. You know, like 我们的戒律你应该去上网看。You know, there are so many which are, yeah, it's like, doesn't make sense, you know, 晚上不可以缝衣服 you know, 不要浪费灯嘛，那就是蜡烛，不要浪费 you know, 我天天晚上都在读东西，那是我的休息。So stuff like this, you see. It is well known that the Sravaka Vinaya had been stipulated as such that, well, if I take that out, I can say that offended the Dharma. It is well known that the Sravaka Vinaya had been stipulated as situations that offended the Dharma arose. Okay? Everybody think that's better? Come down. Okay, very good. After these occurred, you see, you know, offended, arose, occurred. We just considered to prohibit such offenses. If the Buddha stipulated precepts in advance, and so someone committed an offense, not only would it cause doubt to arise in the disciples, particularly male Niyama.
If the Buddha stipulated precepts in advance before someone committed an offense, not only would it cause doubt to arise in his disciples, but also cause lack of respect for
precepts. Yeah, you see. Okay. Jeffy, should I take out the VII? No, right?
Why isn't break it parenthesis like the Chinese even the 25 is parenthesis? There would be reader friends or no reader friends if you put parenthesis.
But that's, he never said this before. I think he's just changdiao qi. He's not quoting. This is not really a quote. It's quote unquote. You know? I don't think he's quoting anything. I think he's doing it to changdiao qi. Anything else? Okay, repeat. It is well known that the Sravaka Vinaya had been stipulated as situations that offended the Dharma arose. After these occurred, precepts were stipulated to prohibit such offenses. Such offenses. If the Buddha stipulated precepts in advance, before someone committed an offense, not only will it cause doubt to arise,
not only will it cause doubt to arise
in the disciple,
but
also cause lack of respect
also cause lack of respect
for the precept.
for the precepts.
Okay, so here I have a question. Okay, Ling Hui, read this please.
同时也会使外道生激化。At the same time, it would also cause externalists,
Non-Buddhists.
non-Buddhists, to defend the monastics, the Buddha, or criticize them.
Who are we talking about? I need a source. I need a object. You see, because if we just say this, libel. Okay, this is a legal term. Libel is a legal term. So if we don't say libel, it would cause them to commit libel. But here we're talking about to defame. It would cause non-Buddhists to defame. To defame what? Monastics or Buddhism or the Buddha or the teachings. How many people say monastics? 1, 2, Joy, yes or no? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many people say defame the Buddha? Cause him to defame the Buddha. How many say cause him to defame the teaching? Okay, 1. Okay. Okay, and this is let's say Sangha. Because 这个时候没有 monastic. Why 没有 monastic? 因为没有 monastery. 那时候还没有盖房子。那个时候他们还是树下。When the Buddha passed away, they would like reside in parks. 但是他们不是盖大的寺院，寺院是很久的寺院观念。I helped somebody edit. 他是一个斯里兰卡的博士论文。He asked me to edit it. I was doing it 跟一个弟兄里。他在斯里兰卡的时候，这个是他的老师，然後他現在寫了一個博士論文 regarding the history of the monastery. When they very, very interesting, but we never finished because she left New York. So that was very unfortunate. Okay, repeat. At the same time, it would cause externalists, non-Buddhists, to defame the Sangha. The reason I took out also is because when you say at the same time, it's sort of like 已经发生了一个事情. So this is another situation. Okay. Whose turn is it? You, Ling Hui, right? So the
同理若佛语自戒，本欲弟子皆能遵守，今舍然尽未至，则依于世界之常规，世尊亦不欲宣告，何者可舍？
Okay. Similarly, okay, similarly means it's similar, you know, like at the same time, this, but something on the same level, on the same level as this, similarly. Okay.
Similarly, if the Buddha had already stipulated the precepts in the hopes that disciples would abide by all of them, then, as the situation for abandoning them had not yet arisen, abiding by the stipulated precepts was common practice.
Right, it was common practice. 大家都在持戒啊 because 没有理由不持戒啊 nothing happened, you see.
And so the well-honored one would also not declare in advance what precepts should be abandoned.
Right, because 所有的戒律不能 abandon. So why would you say, but later you could abandon this one? Well, then why can't we do it now? Well, you have to abandon that when Buddhism goes to America. What's America? That's always a way that we find someone, you know. Well, after 2,600 years, there will be a place, you know, a new continent.
哇，如果这样整部佛经全部都是神通。
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, anything here you want to change? Instead of being, let's say, sins. Similarly, since the Buddha had already stipulated the precepts, hoping that the disciples would abide by all of them. Instead of hoping, can I say expecting? Expecting the disciples to abide by all of them. Then, as the situations for abandoning them had not yet arisen, abiding by the stipulated precepts was common practice. Okay. Okay, let's write this as a sentence. These sentences are too long. Therefore, the world-honored one would also, not declare in advance what precepts should be abandoned. Okay, and again, this is 强调语气, right? 那前面没有提。Is that correct?
何者可舍？为什么是应该被舍？
Which one is renounceable? It's renounceable. But
How about the
could be, could be.
okay.
Could be.
Anything else? Yes.
As the situations for abandoning them had not yet arisen. But I don't quite understand this part. Abiding by the stipulated precepts was common practice. Let's go back to your original
Yeah.
则依于世界之常规。Okay. In accordance with the convention of precepts stipulation, the honored one will not declare.
Wait, say that again.
In accordance with the convention of precepts, stipulation.
No. If you say in accordance with the convention of following precepts, but you can't say the convention of precept stipulation. If you say precept stipulation means 一直在持戒，一直在创造一些戒律。Yeah， 它不是一直在弄的。Then it's sort of like, you know, 他很无聊没事干，所以一直在搞一些 sure. But I think maybe what you want to say is in accordance with the convention of following precepts, of abiding by precepts. Maybe you mean this.
As such, because as the situations for abandoning them have not yet arisen because of this. So this is just common practice. They don't describe it in advance. So
No, 你现在在乱。You're just moving words around. I don't see where you're changing the meaning. 我在这里有犯错吗？在哪里错？而且这怎么就在？你要 tell me. Just tell me that. Don't keep talking. Then we're just playing with words.
Because in this sense, abiding by the stipulated precepts is common practice.
Yes.
Okay.
Where is that? Is that here? 这里有。
则依于世界之常规。
Okay. 所以你的意思是说，这个不是这个，这个不是这个意思。OK， 应该怎么翻？这一段这个一点点要怎么翻？好意思。Does everybody agree that this is not correct translation of this? Everybody agree? 不对 ，right? OK， 那要怎么说呢？
Based on in accordance with.
No, just common practice. Common practice means 就是一直在做。Common practice means 常规啊。常规 is common practice， 就是大家就是这样做的。你看 common practice 嘛 ，common practice。Yeah， 是常规。So this is therefore the common practice of prescribing precepts. Okay, let's make this red. I want you to look at this for homework. Okay, so for homework, check this out and see how to rewrite this. Because if we start talking about this now, okay. So go home and look at this and see how you want to edit this. All right. So we did a lot today, and I think we learned a lot about. Editing. We're already, you know, we only have this. Okay, we don't have a little bit left. Take a while, I may have absorbed, but it's very quick. These are all Phillips. Data set Phillips. And you see he's using very big characters. And then here it gets a little bit crazy. If you look at the Chinese, the original Chinese, look at how much we have done already. Where are we? Okay. So we are just about halfway. We are on page 11, okay, of 26 pages. But if you look for the end, a lot of the end is this, you see. Does he have a list of references? What are these things here? So he doesn't have a list of references. Okay, so we also have to translate all of these, right? Okay, save. 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 Sure. What is this, Jeffrey?
All it's my friends were writing about enormous, huge sentence.
Which one? The first one or the second one? Oh, she also?
Yeah, she was right.
But it's already rewritten. The Chinese is rewritten. Is she basing it on the rewritten?
Yeah, she based it on the original text, but Ginny said she crossed out too many sentences, so that's why it's had to write.
So can I just delete it?
Sure.
I don't like to read stuff that's wasting my time because I have so much to do. Okay. Pause. Okay. So the person in charge is Sophie. Sophia. Okay. Master Fa-tzang's thesis. Draft. Please do not share. Send your comments and edits to Sophia. Okay, thank you. Okay, now okay, so the how come Jeffrey doesn't come? Michelle in this group?
Yeah,
She's
Michelle
online.
online and Sophie online too.
Okay. Where is Sophie today?
They went to Liangwang in Kaohsiung.
Oh, Fa-tzang. That's 5 days, right? 7 days? How many days? 1 day? Oh, they are going only 1 day, so it is 7 days, right? and Ginny and Rita. Where's Joy? 小孩子说出来，
J-O.
Yeah, yeah.
但是他不出来。